Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Drogs, Fully Painted Miniatures. And today we're going to be starting Aeons End War Eternal. Let's see if I can get that box in there. Yeah, there we go. War Eternal. So I picked this up off Amazon the other day. It's reasonably cheap. I got it for like 45 bucks, or probably a little bit less than that. I didn't realize it at the time, but this came out later than the base set, which I've already gone through. But it's not second edition, so the art on some of the cards is a little weird. So this is what the Nemesis cards look like, for example, which is kind of different from what I'm used to. The art probably isn't as good, but the gameplay should be the same. And I don't know, maybe it's just me having, because I'm used to like pretty well shuffled cards. Even though the art isn't as nice, the finish on them, on the cards, actually seems a little nicer. Yeah, it seems, I don't know, it just seems like a nicer finish to me. Yeah, so if I don't know, if you haven't been following along, when I go through new Nemesises and new boxes and stuff like that, whenever I play in normal, I use randomizers for all my cards. So to start off, I have not gone through these cards. I do not know all the details. I don't really know what I'm getting into. But for starters, we're going to be going up against the Umbra Titan today. And the Umbra Titan setup, he starts with 8 Nemesis. Oh, so I need to grab some tokens for this guy. He starts with 8 Nemesis tokens. When Umbra Titan has 0 Nemesis tokens, Gravehold's foundation is undermined. Gravehold collapses into rubble and the players automatically lose. When he unleashes, if there is 1 Nemesis turn order card in the turn order discard pile, any player suffers 2 damage. If there are 2 Nemesis turn order cards in the discard pile, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Or Umbra Titan loses 1 Nemesis token. So he either does 2 damage to Gravehold, 2 to a player, or he loses one of his tokens. Alright, so that's what these little green things are. He starts with 8. Sorry about that. Usually I like to have everything set up ahead of time, but I didn't realize he had the tokens. I thought it was one of the other Nemesises. So I did pick these 2 mages. I didn't randomize them. There's 8 in this box. I will go through all 8 at the very least through normal. But I didn't like read through their cards or abilities until after I picked them. I thought they were cool. This guy's got like I read through their like flavor text in the back. He's like a science experiment Frankenstein dude, and he's just a coward that like got possessed by this like shadow demon. And the shadow demon actually does all the fighting while he just sits there cowering with a shield. So I thought he was kind of cool. Okay, so his name is Ulgamore. He's the Shadowkin Beast, which is the name of the monster, not the guy. And his unique card is Coal Shard. If you have 2 life or less, destroy this card. Otherwise, gain 3 Aether, gain 1 charge, and suffer 2 damage. This is a gem. I guess you could just discard it instead of destroying it. But otherwise, gain 3 Aether, gain 1 charge, and suffer 2 damage. Which is really powerful for a starting card, except for the 2 damage part. And then his special ability is to gain 6 life for 6 charges. If you're exhausted, an ally gains 5 life instead. So it's kind of like a better version of Brahma's that you can't target, but he also damages himself. And then his breaches, he starts with first one open, second at 4, third at 9, fourth at 10. So a little expensive. And then we have Garu, the Earthsworn Protector. And his unique card is a spell, deal 1 damage, or cast focus any player's breach. So that'll be useful. And then his unique ability is Colossal Force. Discard up to 4 of your prep spells. Deal 2 damage plus 4 additional damage for each spell you discarded. divided however you choose to the nemesis and any number of minions. So if you do 4 spells, that would be 12 damage divided up however you choose. Of course, you have to discard spells for it. So his ability would work better with sparks and, spark and torch and some of the other cheaper spells. All right. And as for store, I am going to use randomizers. I will keep with the traditional 3 gems, 2 relics, 4 spells. One, two, three. Okay, we got Volcanic Glass. 3 cost. When you gain this on your turn, you may spend 2 Aether. If you do, an ally also gains a Volcanic Glass and places it on top of their deck. Gain 2 Aether. So that's pretty cool. Scorious Slag, 4 cost, gain 2 Aether. If the Nemesis tier is 2 or higher, gain an additional 1 Aether. I really like that. So it's 2 in the beginning of the game and then becomes a 3 later on. It's only a 4 cost. I do think, I did read through these cards like just quickly. I just thumbed through them. And they definitely seem stronger than the other game. So my guess is the Nemesises are stronger, the abilities are a little bit more powerful, and it's a different Nemesis deck. Like all the basic cards are different. I haven't looked at them yet, but I'm assuming they're all different. And I'm guessing the cards are stronger too. And Breach Ore, also a 4 cost, gain 2 Aether, or focus the closed breach with the lowest focus cost. Very cool. All right, I'm fine with all those. So get those out. That'll be our gems. Is that still on camera? All right, let's slide that down just a little bit. Volcanic Glass, Breach Ore, and Scorious Slag. And then we're going to take the relics. Two. All right, we got Fiend Catcher. You may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. Reveal the top card of the turn order deck. If you reveal the Nemesis turn order card, you may place that card on the bottom of the turn order deck. Okay. And Vortex Gauntlet, and that's 3 cost. And then Vortex Gauntlet costs 6. Cast any player's prepared spell, then return that spell to the player's hand. Okay. Fiend Catcher, Vortex Gauntlet, and spells. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for my next series. Still waiting for League of Dungeoneers to show up. I was thinking about maybe doing a Zombicide, but I had so much fun with Aeons End, I just thought, why not do a little bit more? It's still fresh in my mind how to play it. I like the puzzle part of it, so we'll see how this goes, whether I decide to get the expansions or not. How much I enjoy the base set. In the base edition, I really liked the Nameless expansion, but the Depths expansion was a miss for me. I can't recommend that one. Okay, 4 spells. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reduce to ash, 7 cost. While prepped at the start of your casting phase, reveal the top card of your deck. You may destroy that revealed card. Cast, deal 4 damage. Okay. Celestial Spire, 5 cost. Cast, deal 3 damage. If this card supply pile is empty, an ally draws a card. So if you buy all of these, it can give you benefit. There. Fiery Torrent, another 5 cost. Cast, deal 2 damage. Deal 2 additional damage for each other Fiery Torrent prepped by any player. Okay. So that's pretty cool, actually, because there's, 5 of these? So that means this could potentially do 10 or 11 damage. Per cast. Alright, Conjure the Lost. 6 cost, deal 5 damage. You may destroy this. If you do, Grateful gains 4 life. Very cool. Alright. I wish I had something that costs less than 5, but that's alright. We will make do with what we have. And it will be fine. Oh. Celestial Spire Fire. So I did organize these by cost. Celestial Spire. Or Fiery Torrent. Celestial Spire. Conjure the Lost. And Reduce to Ashes. I actually kind of like the art. Definitely different though. Sorry. Just give me a sec to get organized. I don't have enough off-camera space. Okay. Celestial Spire. Fiery Torrent. And Reduce to Ash. Okay. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to start with Garu. He... It's kind of a weird setup. He's going to prep Torch, and then he's going to pay 3 to focus his 3rd breach, prep Spark. I don't know if I like that. Nemesis' turn. Oh, he has 70 life, by the way. Beginning. Alright, we start with Cryptid. It's a minion, 6 life, persistent. The player with the most expensive prep spell discards that prep spell, or Umbra Titan loses 1 Nemesis token. Probably not the best first card draw. Alright. We get Ogamore. He's going to prep a Spark. And Coal Shard gives him 3 Aether and a charge while he loses 2 life. Oh, I didn't give them life points. So he's got 10. He's got 8. I don't have the player tokens out either, but player 1, player 2. So that gives him a charge and 3 Aether, which along with this gives him 2. So a total of 5. Which he will use to buy 2 volcanic glasses, one from Self and the other one from Garu. And he draws 4. That doesn't really flow very well either. He gets to go again. We're going to cast Spark for 1 damage to the Cryptid. Prep Spark. And then he'll pay 3 to focus his third breach and prep his last spark. Too many sparks. Oops. What just happened? I drew 5. I'm only supposed to draw 4. Okay. Okay. That's better. Alright. Garu's turn. He's going to cast Spark for 1. Brings Cryptid down to 4 life. And he's going to cast Torch to focus his third breach. Yep. And then he's going to pay 3 to open his third breach and prep 2 sparks. 2, 3, 4, not 5. And then Nemesis' turn. Cryptid is going to discard a spark. And we draw Seismic Roar. Power 3, Umbra Titan loses 2 Nemesis tokens. To discard, spend 6 Aether. It roared as it bored through the rock, and Gravehold shuddered like those within its walls. I just forgot the flavor text. You know what? I'm going to skip the flavor text for now. We got enough stuff going on. Okay. Nemesis is going to go again. We're going to discard another spark. We're going to take a token off Seismic Roar. And we get Night Unending. Power 3. Gravehold suffers 2 damage for each spell prepped by the player with the most prep spells. Okay. So it's similar to the one in the... yeah. Except the damage is Gravehold. Alright, Garu. He's going to cast both sparks, which is worth 3 damage, 2 from the +1 from the third breach. That brings the Cryptid to 1 life. He's then going to prep spark, and then he generates 5 Aether. He's going to do kind of the same thing. He's going to buy Volcanic Glass, along with a second one for Ogumor. That's 4 cards. Nemesis' turn. Cryptid will discard the spark. And we take a token off Seismic Roar, Night Unending, and we draw Howling Spinners, 5 life. Any player persistent, any player suffers 2 damage. Okay. Ogumor's turn. So Coal Shard does 2 damage. Gives him a charge and generates 3 Aether, 2 Aether, so he generates 6 Aether. Which is enough to open second breach and purchase a charge. Perhaps both sparks. Garu's turn. He's going to prep Torch and Spark. And for 3 Aether, he will purchase... Do I want... I'll purchase another Volcanic Glass. And we get Ulgamor's turn. He's going to cast both Sparks. The first one's going to kill the Cryptid. Second one is going to do 1 damage to the Howling Spinners. He then generates 6 Aether. And he's going to use that to discard the Seismic Aurora. That's his turn. Okay, we get Garu next. Garu's going to cast Spark for 2 on the Howling Spinner. And then he's going to use Torch to focus his second breach. He's going to prep Spark. And he generates 6 Aether, which is enough to purchase Conjugal Lost. Nemesis' turn. We take a point off Knight Unyielding. Howling Spinners is going to do 2 damage to Garu, which leaves him with 8 life. Then we draw. Nyx Unleash. So in Unleash, it's based on how many Nemesis cards there are. There are 1. So Garu takes 2 damage from the Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards the most expensive card in hand. So Garu takes another point of damage and discards the Spark. So I was rereading the rules. I don't get to choose who gets that in this situation because you're supposed to fulfill the most conditions of the card as you can. So both of them can take 1 damage, but only Garu can discard a card. So he has to take that hit, if that makes sense. All right. Ulgamor is going to prep 2 Sparks. And then Clochard is going to do 2 damage, which leaves him with 4 life. But he gains a charge, and that's worth 3 Aether, so 4, 6 Aether. He's going to buy a Breach Ore and a charge. May win, may lose. I'm not super concerned about it for this game. I'm mostly, because these are all new cards, just kind of familiarizing myself with everything. If I can win, I will. But my players are definitely taking a lot of damage for how early it is in the game. All right, so that is Garu's turn. We're going to prep Spark to the 3rd breach, and he generates 5 Aether. And he will buy the last 2 Volcanic Glasses, 1 for himself and 1 for Ulgamor. Nemesis' turn. Night Unending goes off. It's going to do 4 damage to Gravehold. Brings Gravehold down to 26. Then 2 more damage to Garu. So only leaves him with 3 life, and I also have 0 ways to heal him unless Ogumar becomes exhausted. So not great. In Ogumar's turn, he will cast both sparks, killing the Howling Spinners. So at least we got that threat out of there. We will then prep 2 sparks, and he generates 4 Aether, which he will use for a second Breach Ore. Okay. I don't... I have Fiend, with Fiend Catcher and Reduce to Ash, I can curate my decks, which might be really nice. And Conjure the Lost definitely does good damage, can heal Gravehold, excellent. Economy is good, but I don't have a lot of defense, and there's not a lot of cheap damage. I think I'm going to go for those Celestial Spires. Okay, Garu's turn. He's going to cast Spark for 2. It's going to hit the Umbra Titan, which brings him to 68. He will then prep Torch and Spark. Oh. I take that back. Torch and Conjure. Lost. And then he also generates 3 Aether, which he will buy a Fiend Catcher. Hold on to that Spark. 4 and 1 more. Nemesis' turn. Board is clear. And we get Grubber, 5 life, persistent. If the Nemesis has 2 turn order cards in the turn order discard pile, Umbra Titan loses 1 Nemesis token. Otherwise, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Okay. He gets to activate. So he loses a Nemesis token. Because there are 2 there. And then we draw another card. I must have done something wrong. Because that's a tier 1, that's a tier 2. How many cards are there? 2, 3, 4, 5. I must have messed up somewhere with my draw. Anyway. Minion Mage Ender, persistent, 9 life. The player with the most open breaches suffers 2 damage. So I must have drawn a Nemesis card and not drawn a card. Sorry about that. That makes it a lot easier on myself. I'm still losing pretty bad. Yeah. I like the art on him. Alright. Ogremore's going to cast both sparks on the... Actually... He's going to hit the Mage Ender with both of them. Grover doesn't concern me that much. And I have 4, 6, 8 Aether, or 6, and I can focus a breach. I will do the 6 and focus a breach. Or, I'm sorry, and buy a charge. So I will buy a charge. I will use his ability. Eidolon Shroud, which will heal him from 4 up to 10 life. I will buy a Scoria Slag, and I will use the Breach Ore to focus his 3rd breach. That's his turn. Okay, Garu is going to go. He's going to cast Conjure the Lost for 6. He's actually going to cast Torch for 1. Because with the 6 from Conjure the Lost, that's enough to kill the Mage Ender. He will then prep both Sparks to the first and third breaches. And then he generates 4 Aether, which is enough for a Scoria Slag. I'd rather be buying spells right now, or relics, but it kind of just is what it is. I don't have anything that costs under 5 for spells. And Olgamore gets to go again. Very cool. Prep 2 Sparks. Coal Shard does 2 damage. Brings him back down to 8. Gives him a charge. And that's still worth 3, 4. We will take the 4 and focus that third breach. And we will buy another Scoria Slag. Okay. So at this point, I want to get a Reduce to Ash on each of them if possible. I want to get Reduce to Ash. That's my primary focus, would be Reduce to Ash and Conjure the Lost. Buy the best spells I can afford for the rest of the game, essentially. They both have ways to open breaches. Oh, even if they're not super efficient, he only needs 3 for that, he only needs 4 for that. And they both have something that can work on that 4th. So yeah, my primary focus is just buying either Reduce to Ash, Conjure the Lost, or Celestial Spires, depending on what I can afford. Okay, we will cast both Sparks. That's going to do 2 damage. Brings the Grubber down to 3. We'll prep 2 Sparks, and then I have 4 Aether. That's not enough for any of those spells, but it is enough for 2 charges. Oh, you know what? I'll actually just open that third breach. That's what I'll do. Gets to go again. 2 Sparks. 2 damage to the Grubber. Alright, now we're talking. So that's worth 3. These are worth 2 each. That's worth 1. So that's 7, 8, 10 potentially. Or 8 with a focus. So I will take the Reduced Ash for 7 and focus that 4th breach. Reduces to Ash are doubly effective because, first of all, they do 4 damage, 5 in the 3rd or 4th breach, but they also allow me to destroy cards and start that deck curation. Alright, Nemesis, the Grubber is going to do 2 damage to Gravehold, brings us to 24. And then we draw Mangleroot. Minion, 12 life. Persistent Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Then this minion suffers 2. Okay. And we get Garu. He's going to cast the first Spark to kill the Grubber. And the second one will do 2 damage to the Mangleroot. Brings him to 10. And then he generates 4, 5, 6, 7, and he buys a Reduced to Ash. Oh, I forgot to draw cards for Ogumar. Alright, Garu gets to go again. We're going to prep Spark and Conjure the Lost. He will use Fiend Catcher to destroy a crystal. And that reveals the top card of the turn order deck. Nemesis card. So that doesn't really do much. And then Volcanic Glass is worth 2, so he buys a charge. Nemesis gets to go. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Brings us down to 21. But he suffers 2, so that brings him from 8 to 10. To 8 from 10. Sorry. Then we get Mutilate, Unleash. So his Unleash does 2 damage to Gravehold. Brings Gravehold down to 19. The players collectively discard 2 prep spells. So I'm going to discard both of those. And then any player suffers 2 damage. We're going to have Olimar take that since he can heal himself. Okay. So I definitely misplayed that earlier by letting Garo take quite a few hits. I should have forced Olgamore to take them all and then just purchase charges. Because he can heal himself relatively efficiently. Garu cannot be healed unless Olgamore it becomes exhausted. So he's my primary tank. He has to sit out in front. I didn't realize that starting the game off. Alright. Mango Root attacks, does 3 more damage to Gravehold, drops us to 16, takes 2 more damage, drops himself to 6. And we draw. The players collectively destroy the 2 most expensive prep spells. I have none prepped. Or Umbra Titan loses 2 Nemesis tokens. Okay, so we need to remove 2 more tokens. That leaves him with 5. I'll put them up here so you can see. If he loses all 8, game over. Nemesis goes again. So that's another 3 damage to Gravehold, brings us to 13, and another 2 damage to Mango Root, which brings him down to 4. It's kind of like the Haze Spewer. Alright, and then we get Aphotic Sun. Discard, spend 7 Aether, Power 2, Unleash. The player with the most charges suffers 3 damage and loses all of their charges. Don't want that to activate. Okay. Good news is that was a double Nemesis activation, so I get 4 activations now in a row. A minimum of 4. Okay. Coal Shard's going to activate, do 2 damage. To Olgamore, that brings him to 4 life. But that gives him a charge and 3 Aether. He then generates 4, 5, 8, plus a Breach Ore. He's actually going to use all of that on charges, activate his special ability after purchasing 4 charges, and heal himself back up to 10. And then use the Breach Ore to focus that 4th breach. Now the problem is, he doesn't have any spells, like none. So, we'll see. Garu's going to prep Torch. And this is worth 3, 2, 2. So that's 7. And he buys a Reduced to Ash. Okay, he gets to go again. He's going to use Torch. The focus is 4th breach. He's then going to prep, reduce to ash, and 2 sparks, and then he generates 4, which he buys a Scorious Lag. No, put that back. For 4, he opens his 2nd breach. And Olgamore gets to go. We're going to prep 2 sparks. And he generates 4 Aether. And buys a Fiend Catcher. Okay, we do get Garu again. He has to cast this Spark for 1. Brings the Mango Root to 3. Prep to Ash allows me to, while prepped at the start of casting phase, allows you to destroy a card, so I'm going to destroy a crystal. I'm going to leave it, though. I will cast the other Spark. Do 1 damage to Mango Root. I will use Fiend Catcher, destroy another crystal, and reveal top card. And then he has 3 Aether remaining, and he buys another Fiend Catcher. Olgamore gets to go next. I'm going to cast this Spark for 2. Kill the Mango Root. He will cast a second. No, he will not. Yeah. He will then use Breach Ore to open his 4th breach. Prep reduce to Ash. We got 2 sparks. And Scoria Slag for 3 will purchase a Fiend Catcher. Alright, Garu does get to go. So the reduce to Ash will destroy a Spark. I will not cast it. I will prep second reduce to Ash and conjure the Lost, and then he generates 5 Aether, and he buys a Celestial Spire. Nemesis' turn. Take a power token off of Aphotic Sun. And then we get Chaos Flail. Discard, spend 7 Aether. Power 2, unleash twice. Any player places their discard pile on top of their deck, shuffles it, then that player reveals the top 2 cards of their deck and destroys the more expensive of the 2. Okay. Olgamore's turn. He has a 1 reduced to Ash, so he's going to destroy a crystal. Now, he doesn't have any spells in his hand, so he doesn't need to cast any of these. So I think I'm just going to hold on. Now, Cold Shard's going to do 2 damage. That brings him back to 8 life. Gives him a charge. That's worth 3. So 4, 6, 8. And he buys another reduced to Ash. I like keeping spells on hand. For one thing, they let you go through your deck easier, because now these sparks aren't being drawn over and over again. But it really lets you keep a lot of damage on deck to deal with minions as they pop up. So right here we have 2 damage, 4, 9 total. And then Garu has 5, 9, 14. So a total 23 damage on deck. Now I can blow all that and, hit the Titan with it. But it doesn't really put me in better situation to do that. Whereas now I can wipe out any minion that gets drawn, and I'm probably going to get more Aether in my hands to help me deal with these. And if I get spells and I need to make room, then I cast them and whittle down the Titan that way. But I keep all my breaches prepped, if at all possible. Okay, so we did get Olgamore, right? I didn't just... Yeah. So it's Olgamore's turn. I really hope I'm not double activating him. I don't think I am. Because I just brought out the Chaos Flow. Right? Well, I'm activating Olgamore. If I'm double activating, I'm sorry. Reduce the Ash's ability activates. I'm going to destroy Crystal. I'm not going to cast anything of his spells. I will... This Fiend Catcher just kind of gets discarded because I don't have any... Oh. Yeah, because I don't have anything I want to destroy with that. And then this is worth 4/7, and he buys another, the last Reduce to Ash. So I have purchased all 5 of the Reduces to Ash. That's great. Okay. Aphotic Sun does go off. Play with the most charges, so I get to choose. Suffers 3 damage and loses all charges. So Olgamore's going to tank that. Drops him to 5. And he's down to 0 charges. Take 1 token off Chaos Flail. And we get... Oh, that's cool art. Tomb Fright. Minion, 8 life. Persistent. If Umbra Titan has 5 or more Nemesis tokens, it loses a Nemesis token. Otherwise, Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Pretty cool. I like the art on that. I don't know why they changed it. Okay. So although Gravehold's a little low, I can destroy Conjure the Lost to heal it. I only have 1 of them, but it's 4 life per, which is a decent chunk. So that would be 20 if I destroyed all 5 of them. Okay. We do get Garu. I have to use at least one of them, but now I have a minion up there, right? So in this case, Reduce to Ash is going to activate twice, and he destroys 2 crystals in his hand. He's going to then use Conjure to Life, Conjure the Lost for 5 damage, Reduce to Ash to 4, so and do 9 damage to the Tomb Fright, killing it before it can do anything worthwhile. We then prep Torch, and for 4 Aether. He's gonna buy 2 charges, I guess. No, he's gonna focus. He's gonna focus his 4th breach. His special ability isn't bad. I just don't think it's particularly useful in this situation where I'm curating his deck so much. He's not gonna have a ton of cards he wants to discard to use that. So it's basically a 4 damage attack. Olgamore's turn. I will cast 1 Spark for 1 damage. Prep Spark. And then I generate 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I will discard Chaos Flow. Actually, probably should have destroyed that spark instead of even casting it. But that's alright. Garu's turn. Reduce to Ash is going to destroy one of the sparks in his hand. He's going to cast Torch to open his 4th breach. He's going to use Fiend Catcher to destroy Spark in his hand. And he's going to use Fiend Catcher to destroy Torch. And then he gets to reveal the top card. It's 1. And then Volcanic Glass is worth 2, so he will buy a charge with that because there's nothing else we're going to do. So now he's got his hand pretty tight. All right, we do get Ulgamore. Reduce to Ash is going to act... Do I want to destroy Cold Shard? Yeah, I'll use Reduce to Ash to destroy the Cold Shard. I don't want him taking damage from that anymore. He's got enough economy. I will also cast this Spark for 2 damage. Prep, Reduce to Ash. And then I will use Fiend Catcher to destroy this Spark. I guess I could have just looked through my discard pile. I didn't have to. That's fine. Use the one on top. And then he purchases 2 charges with the 4 Aether. Nemesis. Board is clear. And we get another minion. He's very minion heavy. So that's like a gorilla with a rhino head. Vault Behemoth, 9 life, persistent. Any player suffers 2 damage. If this minion has 8 life or less, Umbra Titan loses 1 Nemesis token. So you want to take him out 1 shot. But 9 life is not super bad for a tier 2. Do get a double activation though. Okay. Any player suffers 2 damage. It's Ulgamore. Brings him to 3. And then we get Cataclysmic Fate. To discard, destroy a prep spell that costs 5 or more, and a breach in which it appeared. Very hard. Power 1, the player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. Oof. I kind of have to do that, huh? And it's a power 1. So I may not even get a choice. If I get a Nemesis activation right away, I just get to choose who gets exhausted. That's it. Oof. I guess I would take... I don't know. Probably Garu. Yeah. Okay, I do get to go first though. So I will destroy my 4th breach. Destroy, reduce to ash. And my 4th breach. And that discards Cataclysmic Fate. Okay, reduce to ash does activate and destroys the crystal in his hand. He's then going to cast Spark for 1 damage. To the Vault Behemoth, drops him to 8. Prep, reduce to ash. And then he's going to cast reduce to ash to do 5 damage to the Behemoth. Drops him to 3. Fiend Catcher, he will use to destroy, spark, and reveal the turn order card. It's on top, so I put it on the bottom. And then he generates 5 and purchases Celestial Spire. Although honestly, I probably should just be buying charges. Nemesis does get to go next. Oof. Any player suffers 2 damage. We're going to have that be Olgamar again. And we take a Nemesis token off of the Umbra Titan. We draw. Umbra Titan loses 3 Nemesis tokens or unleash and place the most recently discarded minion back in play. We're going to do that. So unleash is going to do 2 damage to any player. Ugh. So both my characters have 1 life, and we bring Tomb right back into play. It's that, or I drop to 1 Nemesis token, and that would be a game loser. All right, Garu's turn. Wow. At least I know I get, 2 activations? 3 activations before he's going to go. Reduce to Ash is going to destroy this crystal in his hand. He will then cast Reduce to Ash to kill the Vault Behemoth. And he will then prep Reduce to Ash and Celestial Spire. And he generates 5 Aether with which to buy Celestial Spire. He gets to go again. He will use Reduce to Ash to destroy Fiend Catcher. I don't really need it anymore. And there's 8 life there? That's fine. Yeah, so he will cast both Reduce to Ash and Celestial Spire. That's 5 damage and 4. So 9 damage, which will kill the Tomb Right outright. Okay. He will then prep Conjure the Lost. Two Volcanic Glasses will purchase a Scoria Slag. And the Fiend Catcher will just basically let me, doesn't really do anything. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Reduce to Ash will destroy a crystal in his hand, in Olgamar's hand. We will prep a Spark, and then he generates 2, 5, 6 Aether, which I should use for Conjure the Lost, but I'm going to buy just charges. 3 charges. Gets him 1 charge away from using a special ability. 1, 2, 3, 4. Both of these decks are very well curated now. Nemesis does get to activate. I did clear the board, however. Banish, unleash twice. Okay, so that does 4 damage to Gravehold. Drops us to 9. Oh, man. The player with the most prep spells suffers 1 damage for each of their prep spells. Damn. So that exhausts Olgamor. He loses all 5 of his charges. This also, Spark gets discarded as his first breach gets destroyed. And Umbra Titan unleashes 2 more times, doing another 4 damage to Gravehold. I'm going to have him lose 2 tokens instead. That's the or part there. That's not good. Garu has 1 life. So okay. I mean, I'm in tier 3. Like, I kind of see what's going on. They have great decks right now. He's got 65 life. I didn't get the spells to, you know, they don't have any real offensive special abilities. There's nothing they let me get more activations or anything like that. So maybe I can hold out to start destroying Conjure the Lost to heal Greyfold, get his special ability up to heal Garu, use my money to keep buying spell cards because they do have those breaches open at the very least. But I don't see it working out. All right. Reduce to Ash is going to destroy Fiend Catcher. No, I won't do that. I'll just use Spark for 2. Brings Umbra Titan down to 63. Prep. Reduce to Ash. I will use Fiend Catcher to destroy the Spark. Feel the top card of turn order. That's going to go on the bottom. And then generate 6 Aether for 3 charges. So close before. Then we get Garu. Garu will prep Reduce to Ash and Celestial Spire. And then he generates 7 Aether, which is enough for Celestial Spire and a charge. He then gets to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then gets to go again. Sweet. I will cast Conjure the Lost for 6, which will bring Umbra Titan down to 57. Prep Celestial Spire and Reduce to Ash. And then I generate another 7. Buy the last Celestial Spire and a charge. So now that I've bought all those Celestial Spires, its special ability will activate when I cast. Okay. We get Olgamore's turn. Reduce to Ash will destroy. No. I guess not. Not yet. I will cast Reduce to Ash for 5 damage. That brings Umbra Titan down 52. I will prep Celestial Spire. I will use Fiend Catcher to destroy this Spark that's in my discard pile. And then this is worth 8 Aether. And for 8 Aether, I will purchase 3 charges, use a special ability to heal Garu by 5. Nice. And then purchase 1 additional charge. So good. I was able to pull that part off at least. This is why the deck curation thing is just so powerful. Because you get below 10 cards and you just have 6 of them be spells basically. You can keep a lot of firepower just rolling through. Alright, these should be a double Nemesis activation. Withering Beam, power 2, unleash twice. The players collectively destroy the 2 most expensive prep spells. There's no discard on that one. And Nemesis again. We remove 1 power token and draw. Quill. Greyfold suffers 7 damage or unleash 3 times. Okay. So Greyfold's going to take the 7 damage on that. I think. No, I guess unleash 3 times, because then Grateful takes 6 damage. So that leaves me with 3. Okay. So I need to get my players active. So as long, I got basically 65% chance. Doing pretty good this turn. If I can keep, one of them can go first, I can use the Fiend Catcher to make sure that one of them goes second. And then they'll use the Fiend Catcher again. And I'm going to start unloading on this guy. And we'll see what happens. I mean, kind of. At the moment, I only really have one spell to kick off. Okay, not good. I think I just lost. Okay. Unleash twice. Okay. That removes 1 token. It's 2 damage. Grateful. Brings me down to 1. The players collectively destroy the 2 most expensive prep spells. So 2 reduces to ash. Gone. And we draw. Demi-Ancient, Persistent. Umbra Titan loses 1 Nemesis token. So he, on his next activation, I lose 18 life. Which, how much do I have prepped? 4, 10, 15. Please don't be a double Nemesis. Okay. Ogremore's first. We're going to cast Celestial Spire for 4 damage. Brings Demi-Ancient down to 14 life. That allows Garu to draw a card, though. So he gets Conjure the Lost. Fiend Catcher will destroy Crystal and reveal the top card. Okay. And then I get 6 Aether, and I will purchase Conjure the Lost, because I need to heal Grateful more than I need to heal Garu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he gets to go again. Preps reduced to ash. Fiend Catcher. Okay. And he generates 7 Aether. And buys another Conjure the Lost. And we get Garu. We're going to cast all of his spells. I think I lose no matter what, actually. It's too bad I didn't buy any Vortex Gauntlets. Alright, that sucks. So that's 5, 11 damage. Still losing with 3 life. Yeah. If the turn order had been... Oh. No, because I can... Yeah, okay. So, 5 damage, 11. That leaves him with 3 life. And the Celestial Spires make Oglemore draw 2 more times. Then I prep Conjure the Lost Celestial Spire. Fiend Catcher does nothing for this turn. But then I generate 7 Aether. And I purchase a charge. And then activate Colossal Force. I don't discard anything, but I use the 4 damage to kill the Demi-Ancient. And it actually does 1 damage to Umbra Titan as well. Oh, I'm sorry. And I don't prep that. I destroy Conjure the Lost to heal Greyfold by 4. Brings me back to 5 life. Now I had 7 Aether. And I used what? 1 for that? 2? I think it was 1. It's fine. So you hit 5. Because that's 7. So let's say I use 2. I'll buy 1 more charge. Hell yeah. Got myself out of that bind. Okay. Now, I could still very well lose on this draw, but at least I'm not going to lose from that demi-ancient. Okay. Yawning Black. To discard, spend 8 Aether, power 2, any player suffers 6 damage, or Umbra Titan loses 3 Nemesis tokens. So that's a game ender if I don't discard that. And we do get the double activation. Oh no. What the hell happened there? Really? I get to go again? Sweet. Okay. I will cast Celestial Spire for 4 because it allows its special ability, basically. So that drops him to 47, and that allows Orgrimmar to draw an additional card. Then I will prep Reduce to Ash and Celestial Spire, and I generate another 7 Aether and buy a Conjure the Lost. Oh, because it was 7, not 8. Okay. It's 2. So again, it's going to... I just assumed the bottom one was a Nemesis card because of the Fiend Catchers, but I guess I didn't use them. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to do a little... Alright, I'm going to do something a little cheap. Maybe. Maybe it's not allowed. I don't know. Still haven't gotten confirmation on that, but I'm going to do it. First of all, I'm going to cast Reduce to Ash and Celestial Spire. It's worth 5 damage. That's worth 4. That's 9 damage. Okay, so that's going to drop Umbra Titan to 36. I will then prep 2 Celestial Spires. Then I will use Fiend Catcher to destroy Conjure the Lost. By destroying Conjure the Lost, Grateful gains 4 life. That's the part that's, I'm not sure if it works that way or not, but it should. Also, lets me reveal the top card. It's a 2. I guess I'll just leave it up. And then he generates 4 Aether. Buys 2 charges. I can't believe his special ability, which I basically dismiss as useless, saved me. Alright. He gets to go again. Very nice. I will cast both Celestial Spires. They both do 4 damage apiece. So that's another 8. That's going to drop him to 28 life. So he's getting within striking distance. And that allows Orgrimmar to draw 2 additional cards. There is no maximum hand size. He currently has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in his hand. I will prep Celestial Spire, and then I generate 10 Aether. So I will spend 8 and discard Yawning Black. I'm actually in the territory as well to win by running out of Nemesis cards. Although I'm sure one of them's going to get rid of that soon. So that costs 8 out of my 10. So I will purchase a charge as well. Sweet. Okay. Have anything I want to destroy? No, not really. So we will cast Reduce to Ash. That's going to do 5 damage. And that's going to bring Umbra Titan down to 23. Very cool. We will destroy 1 Conjuring the Lost, which will heal Greyfold by 4. Brings us up to 13 from 9. I will then prep Celestial Spire and Conjure the Lost. And I will use Fiend Catcher twice. So, on the bottom. I won't destroy anything with it. And then this is 4, 8, 11 Aether, which is enough to... I will purchase 5 charges, activated special ability, which will heal Garu. Actually, you can't overheal, so it actually heals him to 10. Now, the other thing is I could have bought like 2 Fiery Torments. Yeah. He definitely needs some more damage, though. I will say that. He gets to go again. We're going to cast both Conjure the Lost and Celestial Spire. Conjure the Lost is going to do 6 damage. Celestial Spire is going to do 3. So that's 9. So that's going to bring us from 23 to 14. Definitely within striking distance now. And that gives Garu an additional card draw. Another Celestial Spire. Very cool. Okay. I will then prep Reduce to Ash. Then Fiend Catcher. Yeah, it's going to be a double Nemesis activation. I will just use Fiend Catcher to destroy one of the Fiend Catchers. I don't need that many of them, though. And then this is worth 5, and I'll buy a Fiery Torrent. Nemesis, double activation. Okay, unleash twice. Any player destroys their 3 most expensive cards in hand. Okay. That's not a game loser. So that is... There's 1 Nemesis card. So unleash will do 2 damage to a player. So Garu will take both of those, and that drops him to 6. Now, I could also have Olgamore take one of those, and that would do each of the... So instead of 2 damage each to Garu, I could have done 2 damage to Garu and then had 4 damage to Greyfold if I chose. And then any player destroys the 3 most expensive cards in their hand. So we're actually going to have Olgamore do that and destroy his 3 gems. And Nemesis again. Resolve the most recently discarded attack card in the Nemesis discard pile. So we throttle again. Although this time, because there's 2 cards, the unleash is dipped. So we double unleash again. So that's 4 damage to Greyfold. Brings us down to 9. Now, unfortunately, he only has 2 cards in his hand, so I have to use it on Garu. So the 3 most expensive cards in his hand are his 3 attack cards. Damn. So Reduce to Ash and both Celestial Spires get destroyed. Holy crap. That's a little limiting. But he's only got 14 life. I have 6 life, Gravehold has 9, and his special ability is up. So he's got 4 damage plus 4 from his special ability. So he has 8 damage on tap, and he has 5. So altogether, that's 13. It's not enough to end the game, but it's close. It's real close. So again, I did use that one little thing to give Gravehold an extra 4 life, or let me destroy it a little bit earlier. I don't think it's a massive difference either way. I think it's so cool to be able to do it. It's such a great synergy. I don't think it's a huge advantage. If I had 5 life on Gravehold right now, that would be fine too. It wouldn't have actually made a difference in this particular game. All right, we did get Garu first. That's awesome. So we're going to cast Celestial Spire for 4 damage. Brings him down to 10, and that allows Ogamore to draw an additional card. He gets a Conjure the Lost. Very nice. I then get to use Fiend Catcher. Reveal the top turn order card. And then for 4, I'm going to buy 2 charges. So the first one I'm going to activate his special ability, do 4 damage to the Umbra Titan, drops him to 6. And the second one I purchase in a single charge. So I think I'm going to pull this out by the skin of my teeth, actually, but it's a tight one for sure. Look at that. There's just not enough spell. That's all I have for spell cards. Everything got destroyed. I have two attack cards. That's it. Where happened to all my reduced ashes? They're all in here? Yeah, I guess so. Crazy. All right, he gets to go again. We prep a Celestial Strike. This is worth 10 Aether. Yeah, okay. So 6, 8, 10. That's enough to buy 5 charges. I'm going to buy 4, activate his special ability, Colossal Force, and then I will discard his Celestial Spire. So instead of doing 4 damage, it does 6, and it hits the Umbra Titan, and that's game. Very, very cool. I thought I was going to lose. I thought I was going to lose big time, and I won. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. He's actually kind of fun to play against. So, I don't know if you noticed, but I got to a very difficult, almost dead situation where I had low life, Gravehold had low life, didn't have very many spells, and he had almost full life. But that is how powerful deck curation is. Look at how many cards I destroyed. These are Oglemores. And these are Garus. Now, some of these weren't my choice. But by getting rid of those, this was all there was. Garu only had 9 cards. And there. Over here. Kind of the same thing. 9. They both had 9 cards. So they were getting more. They were seeing every single card every round at the end there. In addition, Celestial Spires were allowing additional draws. So that it allowed me to cycle through so quickly and keep getting So I probably fired off the Celestial Spire 4 times, 5 times, after, even though I bought these cards late. Just consistent 4 damage, 4 damage, 4 damage. And these cards are not bad. Like, even 3 damage is pretty good. That's what like a Celestial Lightning is. So, 4 damage and a third or fourth breach. Reduce to Ash is 4, 5 in a breach, and Conjure Loss is 5, 6 in a breach. So that's not bad damage at all. You're talking, you could have 3, 3, 4, and 5. That's 15 plus 2, 17 damage pretty easily between 4 breaches. There were some powerful Nemesis things in there, and I definitely skinned my teeth. I mean, at one point, Gravehold had 1 life. He was exhausted. Garu had 1 life, and I was down to 1 token there. So very, very easily could have lost, but just cycling back into those cards where it was only upgraded gems and spells, essentially. And then the Feed and Catchers, actually pretty powerful, because they what they did is they let me have all of my activations. So I was getting 4 activations, then double Nemesis every round. And that's actually really overpowered, I feel like. Yeah, you can get hurt on the double activation, but it then lets you clear the board. It gives you 4 turns, 4 activations to discard powers and abilities and deal with minions, and just not have them activate. Very, very, very overpowered card, I feel like, especially at a 3 cost, because it's also destroying cards in your hand or in discard pile. You can dig through your discard pile to do that. So just super, super powerful card. So these are the 2 cards that were left. Okay, this one damages Gravehold, so that wouldn't have killed me. This one I could have discarded with 8 Aether. And this just damages Gravehold. So I don't think either of these would have taken me under, so I probably, because nothing would have removed that token. So I probably could have defeated him by running the deck out as well. But overall, that was really fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I like these cards a lot. Volcanic Class, even though my initial hands were kind of trash, getting that 5, allowing me to buy 1 for each, really helped. And then those Breach Ores, hey, 4 cost, it lets me open up my breaches, and then it becomes, more Aether. Scoria Slag, 4 cost, gives you 3. Very, very powerful. Vortex Gauntlet, I didn't buy any of. Fiend Catcher I already talked about. But this is a powerful card. Cast any player's prep card and then return that spell to the player's hand. So this one wouldn't be particularly useful in this situation where my hands are curated so much. Because what's the difference between it going to my hand or going to my discard pile? Because as soon as I use my hand, it's in the next one. Right? So it's not. That's really all it does, is it lets you reuse it. But if you're not curating your deck and you cast a spell and then you may have to go 4 or 5 more 6 activations to see that again, this is super, super useful. But just wasn't. It's also a little high costed, I feel like. And then Fiery Torrent I didn't use, mainly because I was buying the other 3. So I bought all the Reduced to Ash, all the Celestial Strikes, and I was about to buy all the Conjure Loss. There's only 1 left. But this is a good card too. It's just they only had 2 base damage. So this is one where you want to have a lot of these all prepped up. So on its own, it does 2 damage, but if I had all 5 of them out, it would do 10, 11 damage, and then 8 or 9, 6 or 7 as you go down the line. So still this would have been a really good card in this situation. If it really just mattered on did I want to buy charges or did I want to buy fiery torrents. And as you can see, he only has 2 cards. She only has 3, and this one he'd probably destroy. So this would be my focus. Would have been on purchasing these 4. Had the game gone on any longer. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a great time. Hope you did too. Love you. You're the best.